Long ago, when the world was bright and full of stories, an evil wizard gained the power to touch the face of God. Narrativa, goddess of stories and weaver of our world, banished him to the void, but not before he stole a piece of her divine essence. With this newfound power, the wizard lay a dread curse upon all the world, the Glyph Purge, which struck from the minds of all mortals the knowledge of how to read and write. Now, all that stand between the Isle of Meotia and an age of endless ignorance are the bards, who tell stories of distant lands, exotic creatures, and brave heroes. This is one such tale.
Hello and welcome to Challenge Rating Zero, the latest and greatest Dungeons & Dragons podcast to hit the internet airwaves. I am Sam, your Dungeon Master, and I am joined as always by my longtime friends and adventuring companions.
Hello, I am Brian, and I play Hektor the Gatekeeper.
Hi, I'm Beth, and I play Rilla Longshadow.
Hey, I'm Alex, and I play Ruger Firehide.
And last but not least, we have the man who calls himself Michael, but who we call Parker. Michael Parker playing the druid Zurabak. Say hi, Parker.
Hi, Parker.
Fan-fucking-tastic. Well, we are back again for a tale of epic fantasy.
Woo!
How's everyone doing? Is everyone good? Everyone ready to get this show on the road?
Yes, sir.
Yeah!
Ain't dead yet.
Woo.
Beth, the script says be excited.
Yeah, I put the paper in front of you. Just read off the paper, for fuck's sake.
I'm sorry. I went back to work today, so I got up at 5 a.m. Apologies.
Oh man, that does suck. That's far too early to work. Anything, ever.
Well, see, I'm getting up a half hour early now so I can work out before I get my infant child up and drive her to my parents' house before I go to work. So, it's a whole thing.
See, that's why I'm glad I'm not a grown-up. For everything in that sentence, that's why I'm glad I'm not an adult with, kids and stuff. I'm just a dick with a microphone, and that's great for me. So as the dick with the microphone, when last we left our heroes... Oh god, how many are there now? Rilla, Zurabak, and Hektor, and Ruger. We're all in the town of Picker's Run, preparing for their journey north through the Badlands to their ultimate goal of Everspring. They outfitted themselves in the local shops, meeting some of the charismatic local shopkeepers, and stocked up on supplies at the first actual store they've been to since Bramble. They gathered their gear, assembled their forces, and set out into the Badlands. Sebastian's Wagon of Wonders leading the charge. Our heroes headed north along the once well-traveled northern road, snaking up between the Badlands and the Springvale Forest, but they soon discovered that the Badlands had jumped, dramatically increasing their radius and covering the northern road, turning it into a horrific display of cracked and pitted stone covered with horrible spikes of jagged rock and crystal, and a constant keening howl that assailed their ears from the moment they first set foot into this blasted landscape. Upon their entry, they soon discovered that not only had the Badlands spread, but they were spreading into the ancient forest that Rilla calls home, the Springvale Forest, and was blighting and killing some of the trees there. Upon closer inspection, Rilla found that not only was the Badlands encroaching on and starting to destroy the outer edges of her home, but the powerful wards protecting her homeland from outside forces were malfunctioning as a result of the wild magic coursing through the Badlands. The wards were not acting as they should and seemed to be unraveling. In the meantime, Sebastian, the bard you are escorting to Everspring, has become rather ill. Gray, sweating, muttering incoherently, he passed out in the driver's seat of his wagon, troubled deeply by the sound of this howling, and you all noticed as you put him in bed that a horrific X-shaped scar graces his entire torso, a seemingly mortal wound somehow healed over, the remnant of some horrific trauma, and the last thing he babbled about was something called the Strand. So we find our heroes now on the northern road, a now blasted and cracked bit of landscape leaching into the Badlands. To the west, you have a horrid copse of now dying trees, and to the east, you see endless stretches of these horrific spikes of stone and crystal, giant craters, strange lights and sounds, and forever the howling. Ruger, I believe you are in the back of Sebastian's wagon tending to him. Zurabak is creeping, staring at the proceedings. What do you all do?
I would like to ask, is there something that I can roll to identify the howl, or is it something I'm familiar with?
You can roll me a nature check.
That is an 18.
All right, you leave Sebastian, stick your head outside the wagon, and you cock your head, trying to determine the nature of this howl. This does not sound like any animal that you've ever come across. This is not a wolf or a coyote, and you know very well, with your experience in the Badlands, that animals don't really come around here. This is definitely not any creature that you're familiar with. But you have heard stories of strange monsters that sometimes lurk in the Badlands. You've never run into one, but you've heard tale of these horrid creatures called howlers. You've heard a few horror stories from a few of the folks in Pickers Run that they've heard this howling and it wore down their will. It got into their ear. It shook them up and seemed to sort of sap them of their energy the longer they heard it. No one's ever been able to figure out what causes it. They just call them howlers.
Zurabak,
Mm-hmm.
watch the bard for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you already are anyway. Just, Zurabak, keep doing what you're doing. Hektor, Rilla.
Can I at all discern direction / distance?
You may roll a listen check to see if you can determine that information.
Ooh, 21.
It seems to be coming from all around you. You can tell that it is, after closing your eyes, taking a few deep breaths, and really honing in on the sound, there does seem to be 3 different directions that it's coming from.
Okay.
It's coming from the north, the east, and the west of you.
So it sounds like we're being surrounded. I immediately hit the whoa with the horses, try and stop the carriage. Do I need to roll?
No, you're fine. Yeah, you are able to stop the team of 4 horses that draw the Wagon of Wonders, and the entire caravan of the Hilltopple clan comes to a stop behind you. Ruger, you try to call everyone together.
Howlers afoot. We need to be ready. I've not fought them, but everything I've heard is not anything we want to contend with.
What? Shit. Alright.
Should we know what those are?
They're, monsters. Undead beasts, if the stories are to be told true. They're abominations that haunt these lands. Then, God damn it, we don't want to know any more than we already do. Be ready, and I think perhaps we might want to try and get out of here.
We are already surrounded.
Fantastic. Well, the bard's out, and the lizard's watching him. Is there anyone else in this carriage who knows how to fight?
All of us do. The lizard, as you call him, is one of the most capable fighters amongst us, so probably not have him on babysitting duty. We need to get the caravan in defensive, and we, the four of us, need to go on the offensive.
Also, I can do this, I say, and I cast like mage lights and just throw them out around around our little area. 'Cause why not?
Cool.
Like spotlights?
Yeah.
Do you cast the dancing light spell?
Yeah, sorry, dancing lights. I mixed that up. Sorry. I cast dancing
all good.
lights and just kind of push them out around us.
I'm gonna take the short route, which is to jump on top of the carriage and run over it to get down to the hilltopples, but I'm gonna try and get over to the
Yes.
hilltopples and give them the quick rundown and maybe have them with their armored carts just like encircle the carriage and just try and like form a phalanx of armored carts as quickly as possible.
I stay on top of the carriage.
Fantastic. So as Ruger gives this warning about these beasts he's only heard tell about, Rilla casts dancing lights and sends out some glowing orbs out into the distance to sort of do a perimeter around. You don't see anything in the glow of your lights yet. At the same time, Hektor jumps onto the roof of the wagon and runs off the back side of it. The hilltopples are, not 20 feet behind you. As you get close, you see all of their riding dogs are incredibly lethargic. Their ears are laid back against their heads. Their tails are drooping. All of their heads are low. They seem to be very very tired, like every one of them, the ones pulling the wagons, the ones that Helga and Olga are riding. And as you approach the lead wagon that Inga is piloting, you can tell that she's not faring much better. Hektor, what? Oh, my head. What is it? Why have we stopped?
We are surrounded by some sort of monsters. Are you okay?
Ever since we came into this place, the howling, it wears at my mind. I feel sick. It is. The dogs are sick. I don't know.
Alright, look, just try and just circle up, gather together, get on the defensive. Just protect yourselves. There's something going on with Sebastian. I need you to keep an eye on him, and we are going to defend all of you.
I will do what I can.
And she gives a half-hearted shout to her family. They all snap the reins, and you can see as they trail around you to start trying to circle the wagons, every single one of the Hilltopple clan is sagging in the saddle. They are brandishing their crossbows, but they're barely able to hold them up. And just as they get their wagon circled around the Wagon of Wonders, you start to see Olga, one of the outriders, one of Inga's daughters, her hound just drops to the ground. While she's riding it, she tumbles out of the saddle weakly and sort of splays out on the ground, unable to lift her head.
Where?
And then...
Where?
Oh, not like 20 feet outside the circle.
Okay, so she didn't make it to the circle. Okay.
No.
Please, keep going, I'm sorry.
As soon as that happens, just as the last wagon gets into place, every other dog that the Hilltopples command also start to just fall unconscious, every single one of them. They just start dropping like dominoes. They don't seem hurt, but they all just pass out one after another. Every single dog pulling these wagons, every dog that their outriders are mounted on, just collapses. As this howling goes on and on, they all pass out, and the Hilltopples, their whole family starts to panic and get up off their wagons and start tending to their dogs. Then they start passing out one by one by one all around you. In about 30 seconds, as you're watching all this happen, the entire Hilltopple clan is fucking unconscious. Okay. And all of their mounts.
Just as a note, the moment that Olga collapsed, I made my way over
Absolutely.
to her.
No, you spring over a wagon, scoop her and her mount up and bring her back inside the circle. They were just barely able to get the last wagon in place, so you do have a circle of 5 armored wagons around the Wagon of Wonders, but every single Hilltopple and all of their mounts are now unconscious. They are all moaning and on the ground.
Guys, are you seeing this? The fuck's going on?
Howlers, plug your ears. I, take my knife and cut a little cloth off of my, the shirt of my explorer's outfit and shove that cloth into my ears.
Very cool. Do the rest of you follow suit and plug your ears from this horrible howling?
Yeah, I've got some wax. It's weird. Okay.
Dope.
Yeah, I plug my ears with wax.
Cool.
Yeah, I was trying to see if there was something I could do magic-wise to block it, but I don't have that shit. So yeah, I just copy these two and I guess rip up a bit of my shirt.
Cool.
I also conveniently have wax.
Doing that may mess with your spells, though, if they have verbal components. It's a 20% failure.
Yeah, that may mess with some of your spellcasting, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I'm an archer, so why does that matter?
Right?
Yeah, there you go.
Zurabak! Zurabak, you need to plug your ears, Zurabak! Zurabak?
Zurabak, you were inside the Wagon of Wonder staring down Sebastian. What have you been doing this whole time?
Going through his things, touching them all.
Fantastic. There's a bunch of fancy boy things in here. There's like a lovely tea set. There's a very, very... This is like an RV. So now that you're actually inside this place, it's all perfectly gnome-sized, but there's a bed, gnome-sized with beautiful like silk sheets that he's currently in. There's a dresser, a chest of drawers just full of his dumb, stupid, fancy, awful clothing. There's a little cabinet with a bunch of bits of food stuff. And then there's his backpack, which is rested beside his bed, that he keeps the grimoire of the stricken in. And yeah, he is sweating, murmuring, not making any intelligible sense. But you do hear Hektor call out from the roof of the wagon something about howlers, and you got to plug your ears. Do you plug your ears, Zurabak?
No.
Fantastic.
But I do eat his food.
Okay. As you start chowing down on his food, ignoring this warning, the howls reach a crescendo. The 3 of you that plugged your ears are just fine. Zurabak, I'm going to need you to roll me a will save as this howling reaches a crescendo.
27.
All right. This howl starts to sort of claw at the inside of your skull, but then you grunt and shake it off because you're fucking Zurabak, and no. And you were able to regain your senses. Just as it reaches a crescendo, it suddenly cuts out. And within Rilla's dancing lights, you see 3 horrific shapes approach the circle of your wagons. You see 4 quadrupedal creatures. They look like some sort of hellish mixture of a cat and a dog. They have large clawed paws on scrawny, muscled legs and grayish skin stretched tightly over sharp bones. They have mouths full of razor-sharp fangs flat skull-like noses and rectangular pupils like some sort of goat out of your nightmares. And they are covered in these horrific-looking quills that shake as they move towards you. The howling seems to have been coming from these creatures whose throats extend like bullfrogs for just a moment, and they each let out another one of these horrible, keening howls. They are as large as horses, and they approach your circle of wagons, and they sort of stand there about 20 feet away, and then you all hear a voice inside your heads. You all have come far. You have done well to bring the prize to our doorstep. All you have to do is relinquish the book and the bard, and you may pass with your lives. Be honored that the Master has willed you may live to see the end of this day. That voice just sort of whispers in your brains, and from out of nowhere, a humanoid figure appears between eye blinks, just appears before your circle of wagons. They are clad in skin-tight black leather with a black wrap over their nose and mouth and covering their head. They don't have any identifying marks except for a handprint on their chest, inside of which is a purple spiral shape. What do you all do?
Hektor draws his maul and says no.
Ruger pulls his pair of axes and says, no.
Rilla peers down and goes, "What?"
Fantastic. The voice again whispers in your head, I am an emissary of the Lord Deceiver. Our quarry rests inside that garish bard's wagon. All you have to do is walk away, and the lives of your small wards will be spared. I would hate to see how many of those under your protection could be devoured by my pets before you can act.
Hektor takes a couple steps back, so he is positioning himself between this figure and the hilltopples, and just takes a ready stance.
Ruger is just defending as well. I'm not going to rush these beasts. I'm not exactly the front line.
Gatekeeper, you may have killed our pawns in the mountains, but you failed to stop the mountain from coming down. You will fail once more to stop us here. You could not defend your homeland. Do not fail to defend these people as well.
I put my foot on the ground and draw a line in front of me. I point down at it. Say, you see that? That's a gate.
As I'm eating food inside, I cast fire trap on the door.
You beautiful son of a bitch. Yeah. Zurabak has fire trap on the door to the Wagon of Wonders that he is currently inside. Oh man. That's very good. Holy shit. Great. Cool. So outside, Hector, you draw that line in the sand. And this figure, clad all in black, says,
I was told I may spare you all. The old elf has a soft spot for this one.
The figure says, flitting their eyes at Rilla,
But I will kill you if needed. I am Varric's Hand of the Void. And you will fall this day. Feast, my pets.
and at that point, the 3 large quilled cats, these howlers, pounce. Yeah, and we're going to roll initiative. So, Hektor, am I correct in understanding that you got outside the circle of these wagons and you're between the wagon circle and this dude? Is that my understanding?
Yes.
Fantastic. Ruger, were you right next to Hektor?
I am inside the circle.
Okay. Rilla, are you also inside? Are you still on the roof of the Wagon of Wonders?
Oh, hell yeah.
Fantastic. Ruger, what'd you get on your initiative?
I got a 5.
Ooh.
That's not great.
It's not great.
Rilla, what'd you get on your initiative?
I got a 14.
That's way better. Hektor, what'd you get on your initiative?
I got a 17.
That's even better. And then Zurabak, what did you and then Snake get?
I got a 16. He got a 20 altogether.
Fantastic. So, boy, the Howlers get to go first.
Yay!
Because I don't like you guys. These Howlers are standing 3 astride in front of the circle of wagons. And 2 of them just lurch forward and try to bite Hektor. They open their jaws and just dive straight forward to get a piece of our barbarian friend. So the first one is going to try to clamp its jaws down on you. Does a 20 hit your armor class, Mr. Gatekeeper?
Yeah, that hits.
Fantastic. And then I'm guessing a 21 also hits your armor class?
Weirdly enough, it does, yes.
All right, so these 2 creatures pounce. Each of them sinks their massive toothed jaws into your gatekeeper flesh, and they start rending. The first attack does 15 points of damage. And the second attack does 10 points of damage. So these 2 creatures dive forward and sink their jaws into you and start tearing. They have powerful fangs, and they are big creatures like the size of a horse. You are almost lifted bodily off your feet as they start tearing at you. The third remaining howler lowers itself down so that this figure, Varric's Hand of the Void, can mount up. And he gets astride this particular howler, somehow navigating its mass of quills, and just kind of sits there waiting. He flashes his eyes over all of you and slightly cocks his head to the side as if he's just analyzing you all. And that is the bad guy's turn. So it is Snake's turn next. Is Snake in the wagon with you, Zurabak?
He can't fit in the wagon, so probably
All right.
not.
He's... How big is he now?
He's large.
He's large. Great. What does he do?
Is there anything within 20 feet of him?
He can slither underneath one of the wagons and, go bite one of these howlers.
Then that's what he probably does.
Fantastic. So Snake rushes up besides his good old friend Hektor, and just like I think in episode 1, Hektor and Snake side by side, just tag teaming some weird animals. Roll an attack roll.
Does a 17 hit?
A 17 does in fact hit this creature.
DC 11 fortitude save while I roll damage.
It did succeed on the fortitude save, so unfortunately no poison for this howler.
It takes 2 points of bitey.
Woo! All right. So, Hektor, as you are getting torn apart by these two howlers, Snake, the loyal animal companion to Zurabak, slithers up from under one of these carts and lashes out at one of these big creatures and bites down with its jaws. It doesn't seem to be having any effect with the poison, but this howler is definitely not enjoying being bitten by a very big snake. Does Snake do anything else?
Nope.
Hektor, the gatekeeper, keeper of the gates, you've drawn your line. Now, very importantly, neither of these howlers has gone past that line, but they are both right in front of the line, and they both took bites, big bites out of you. What do you do?
Hektor rips his arm out of the jaw of one of them, tightens his grip on his maul, and says, "This gate will be kept." And then I'm gonna rage.
Yeah, you are.
And I'm gonna swing this maul at the one that is not being bitten by Snake.
Okay.
So, not to diminish the moment at all, but when he took that slight pause after he said ripped, I'm like, oh, he's ripping his shirt off.
I thought he was going to do that too! I rip my shirt off my body, and I say...
Juicy.
Still a good moment. Roll that attack roll.
That's gonna be a 24.
That's absolutely a hit, sir. Please roll damage.
14 points of damage.
Ooh, that's a big hit. You absolutely rock this beast. You bring up your maul and you smash this thing in the side of its head. A bunch of its quills go flying off of its body as you rock it. It is still standing, but you knock it back a good foot with the size of that massive blow. And it whines this high-pitched yelp as its weird throat sort of expands like a toad's in response.
Gross.
Ew.
That makes it Zurabak's turn. Zurabak, it is your turn. You are in the Wagon of Wonders. Sebastian is still sleeping. He is gray, sweating, tossing and turning, murmuring incomprehensibly. You have fire trapped the door. What would you like to do now?
There's a window, correct?
Well, yeah, there's a window.
I can see out of it, correct?
You can.
I'm gonna sack the spell to cast Summons Nature Ally 2.
Oh my word. Summon Nature's Ally 2. What, pray tell, Zurabak the Druid, do you bring into existence on this already cluttered battlefield?
Part of me wants to say a medium shark. Part of me.
Just to drop it out of the heavens, just right on top of him?
Magikarp,
That'd be
go!
like
Shark!
Splash attack.
Well, no, you cast it 15 feet up, mouth down. That's an attack right
We've
there.
all seen Sharknado, okay?
But I think the appropriate response is crocodile.
Oh, that's on brand. That's on brand. Fantastic. Is this just a regular crocodile?
Yeah.
Fantastic. So Zurabak, druid extraordinaire, pulls upon the ancient magics of the wilds, the power of nature, and summons from the ether maybe the emblem of his people, his homeland, a crocodile, which comes snapping and snarling angrily out of the ether and immediately begins to attack one of these howlers?
Yeah.
So Zurabak the druid just is sort of composing a symphony of animal attacks. His snake and a crocodile are now mauling one of these howlers. Roll that attack roll.
I rolled that plus 6 equals 19.
That is going to be a hit.
9 points of damage.
Fantastic. Yeah, you summon a crocodile which absolutely surprises this howler. and it snaps its powerful jaws down on its hind leg and just starts trying to death roll. The howler lets out a high-pitched whine with that horrible, like, throat sac it has.
Still gross.
A couple more quills break off of it as it struggles against your two giant, horrible animals.
Oh, and then as a free action, we get to grapple.
Yeah, grapple it. Do it. Yep. Opposed grapple checks. I got 28.
19.
Okay, so your gator tries to grapple, but unfortunately is unable to control this howler. Fantastic. That brings us to Rilla Longshadow. Rilla, you were on the roof of the Wagon of Wonders. You just saw Zurabak, like, reach an arm out of the window, and a crocodile just happened, so that's going on.
There's a lot of animals, right? Like a lot of animals on the field right now.
We got 3 howlers and a snake and a crocodile that you need to worry about. That's it.
Okay, I'm real squishy, so I'm just gonna cast mage armor on myself. Cause, like, why wouldn't I?
Fantastic.
What side of this, like, I'm on top of the roof. Like, am I right next to it, or am I on the far side of it? Like,
that's entirely up to you. You're on the roof of the wagon. There's a circle of wagons that's like 30 feet out from you, and then the fighting is on the other side of that. So you've got plenty of space between you and bad guys so far. And yeah, you can just be wherever you want.
Want to be within 30 feet of something. So
yeah, you can scoot up to the edge of the roof, and you're 30 feet away from these 2 howlers that are fucking up your companion.
Okay, cool.
Fantastic. So Rilla pulls on her sorceress magics, and a gleaming suit of armor appears around her for just a second before fading into nothingness, and she stalks forward to the edge of the roof, readying her bow. Ruger Firehide, you are inside the circle of wagons, just on the outside of the circle of wagons, some 10 feet from you. There are 2 howlers attacking your companion, Hektor. One of them is being harried by a snake and a crocodile, and one of them just got clocked by Hektor. Just beyond them is another howler that is being ridden by Varric's Hand of the Void. What do you do?
Ruger says quietly to himself, "Narrativa, be kind." And then I rush forward and to the right of the howler that is attacking Hektor. I basically try to rush to the flank
Cool.
to take advantage of that bonus. And then I hit it with my battle axe.
Fantastic. So yeah, you leap outside of the circle of wagons, slipping between 2 of these large armored wagons, and rush up behind this howler and unleash hell. Go ahead and roll an attack roll.
So it's +2 for flanking?
Yes, you are flanking this creature. You get +2 on your attack roll.
Perfect. So then that's a 19 to hit.
Fantastic. That is absolutely a hit. You raise your battle axe high and sink it deep into the flesh of this horrific creature.
I do 8 points of damage.
Fantastic. Yeah, you slash into this creature and carve out a sizable chunk of its hide. I'm sorry, how much damage is that again?
8.
8? Nice. Yeah, this thing is definitely hurt. It is sort of wailing this horrible plaintive moan, and between the very sizable blow it took from Hektor, you guys are definitely wearing this thing down. It looks angry. The howler that you folks are now flanking is going to lunge at Hektor with its quills all standing on end. And it's going to try to bite Hektor while crazily thrashing around. Hektor, does a 15 hit your armor class?
Yep. Especially because I'm raging and my armor class is lower as a result.
Fantastic. So, this creature's jaws sink into you. You are going to take 12 points of damage as this thing bites into your shoulder. Its fangs sinking into your flesh. And as it bites you, it thrashes around terribly, trying to lodge some of its quills into your body. Does a 12 hit your armor class?
No.
Okay, so it tries to thrash around, it bites you and drags you around it. Oh, what's up?
Just a fun point of order. That ring of protection is doing the work right now, because with my raging armor class, it's at 13 now with the ring of protection.
Fantastic. So yeah, this creature latches onto your shoulder with its fangs and thrashes you around, and 4 of its quills try to lodge themselves into your body. Just as it does, your ring flashes and this nearly imperceptible sheen sort of pops up between your flesh and these quills, and none of them lodge into your skin. Congratulations.
Sounds very good.
Yeah. It's very good. The second howler is going to go apeshit on this crocodile that just tried to grapple it. It is going to try to bite the croc. Does a 27 hit the crocodile?
27?
Yes.
Part of me wants to say no.
Yeah. That crocodile is going to take 17 points of damage.
Oh my god.
And then this howler is also going to flail around crazily with its quills spiking in every direction and try to stab it with one of its quills. Does an 11 hit this creature's armor class, this gator?
Nope.
Fantastic. So it is able to fend off the quills, but it takes 17 points of damage from a bite.
These things pack a punch.
So this howler shrieks and sinks its jaws into this gator. The third howler is going to just sort of sit pretty. The guy riding it is looking at you all with a keen focus. His eyes keep drifting from one to the next, like he's studying you. He even spares a glance at the window that Zurabak peeked his head out of for a moment. And he just keeps sort of cocking his head from side to side a little bit, but he's definitely just closely studying you all as you do battle here. And that's the bad guy's turn. It is Snake's turn.
Well, Snake continues the biting.
The bite campaign of biting.
Ooh, probably doesn't hit. 12.
Unfortunately, 12 is not enough. Snake lashes out to bite at this creature, but its quills stick out and is unable to find a weak spot between the mass of horrible spikes. Is there anything else it does on its turn?
Nope.
Fantastic. So a snake tries in vain to find purchase on this horrible quilled creature. Hektor, you are back up. One of these howlers seems to be now distracted by the many animals trying to kill it. You and your companion Ruger, who has bravely sidled up next to this howler to flank it, are now engaging just this one. You have +2 on your attack rolls against it, because Ruger is flanking.
Cool.
What would you like to do?
Let's see. Let's do power attack -4.
Oh my goodness. I forgot you had power
I also
attack.
forgot I had power attack, but now I have remembered.
There we go.
Game changer.
All right. So, just for those who don't know, power attack, if you reduce your attack roll by a certain number, you can add a number to the damage you do.
That's a dirty 20.
That is absolutely enough to hit this creature.
That's 23 points of damage.
Oh my word. Holy crow. Man. So yeah, what does it look like when you kill this thing, Hektor?
Again, like I imagine it, like when it bit me, it like latched onto my arm, and my arms are just ripped up and bloody at this point. And this time I kind of like bring my arm up to try and like force its head up and just swing straight for that gross throat bulge, and I just Pop it. Yes.
Oh God! You crush its
Howl
howl sack.
Um,
So in a brutal two-handed swing, you bring your maul up and you completely crush this thing's throat, larynx, and just all of the good stuff in its neck, and it lets out a horrible, shuddering cough as it strangles itself to death on its crushed throat.
question.
Yeah.
That other one, that was still in range to attack me. It just got distracted, right?
Yeah, it's right. It's right there. It's right next to you.
Cool. Cleave!
Oh! For those who don't know, Cleave lets you get a free attack if you drop somebody in combat. So they're just stacking it up. Fantastic.
Power attack -4 again.
Because you have to.
Because I have to.
Can't not.
Alright, that's 24 to hit.
That's definitely a hit, sir.
I rolled low, so that's only going to be 19 points of damage.
Oh my. That is a absolutely crushing blow. This creature is horribly hurt, but still on its feet. So Hektor, on your turn, you in one great motion smash your maul through the neck of one of these creatures, and in the same swing follow through and bash the side of the head of the other howler, smashing its jaw to the side. You hear the very satisfying sound of bones cracking. It is still alive, but it is very badly wounded. Excellent. As you do this, Varix on the third howler cocks his head to the side and says, "Interesting." So, Zurabak, it's your turn.
We'll let the croc go first.
Sure.
So he's got 2 attacks.
Yeah, do it up.
And they're both +6.
I'm very happy to hear that the croc is still alive. I thought I would have killed it.
If you'd hit a second time, good chance you would have. 16 and 13 to hit.
16 and 13, unfortunately, neither of those hit. So the crocodile lashes out. It is able to, touch the dang thing, but the quills prick the inside of its mouth, and it's not able to get a good angle on the howler, and is unable to get any of that.
Its second attack is a tail slap.
Ooh, fun. That is fun. So yeah, unfortunately, the crocodile is unable to land a blow against this howler. It is your turn. You are in the Wagon of Wonders with Sebastian. What would you like to do?
Continue going through his things.
Fantastic. The only thing in here left to go through, you've gone through all the cabinets, you've eaten all the food. You've gone through his dresser and just taken out all of the finery and his unmentionables, just stepped all over those.
I did try to wear one of his shirts.
Yeah, it is ripped beyond, just beyond. It's just ripped beyond. It is quantum ripped. The fabric of reality tore as you tore this shirt. It is so ripped. The only thing left to go through is his backpack with the Grimoire of the Stricken on it.
Yeah. Zurabak doesn't trust that thing.
All right.
He's seen what he's put in it.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that is Zurabak and the crocodile's turn. Rilla, we are backed up to you. We've got one howler that is being menaced by 2 animals and now a Hektor. We've got one howler that is being ridden by Varix, the Hand of the Void. What would you like to do?
I pull out one of my shocking arrows.
Yes.
And can I shoot it? The one that Varix is riding?
You absolutely can.
Is that within 30 feet of me?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Fuck it. Yes. Absolutely, it is.
Cool. So I shoot at it.
Fantastic.
See what happens. Ooh. So that's a 25 to hit. I almost critted. I rolled a 19. So close.
Yeah. You line up the shot and you fire an arrow, and you can see that Varix is watching you all so intently that he grabs 2 of the quills on the back of this thing's neck and tries to steer it out of the way, but he's just not fast enough. And your arrow does find purchase in this howler. Go ahead and roll damage.
So would this be like normal arrow damage plus the d6 of lightning? Is that how I do it?
It's normal arrow damage plus the d6 from lightning plus 1, and then whatever
I got
whatever
that.
other bonuses you get.
Cool. Okay, so I got 10 total and then 5 points of electricity, so 15, which is a damn good roll. I rolled a d8 and a 5 on the d6, so that's pretty. I rolled an 8 on the d8 and a 5 on the 6. So
Good stuff.
I think that's probably all my luck for the night too. So
No one takes the one.
Fantastic. 15 points of damage. Very cool. So you draw one of your shocking arrows. You draw back and fire, and this thing shoots out like a lightning bolt. It leaves a trail of sparks behind it as it soars through the air, hits the side of this creature, and the whole howler just seizes up and shakes like it's being electrocuted. There's a small clap of thunder as it strikes home. This thing howls in agony. You can see that Varix looks honestly surprised by that. He looks up at you and, seems his eyes are a little wide, like he wasn't expecting you to actually be able to hit this thing.
I stick my tongue out at him, because why not?
Fantastic. That is Rilla's turn. Fucking sniper on top here. Ruger Firehide, it's your turn. So, on your side of the circle of wagons, you and Hektor are team outside. On your side of things, there is one howler that is being harried by animals, and there's one howler that is being ridden by Varix. Hand of the Void. What do you do?
So the howler that's already engaged in combat's pretty messed up, yeah? Missing
It looks
spines
pretty-
and the like.
Oh yeah, it looks pretty fucking hurt for sure.
Okay. And Varix is how far away from me, ballparked? Because my throwing axe range is 10 feet?
Oh man, like roughly 10 feet away from you, I'd say. Roughly.
Perfect. Yeah. I chuck a throwing axe at his howler mount as well.
I love that you guys are aiming for his mount, not him. That's very awesome. That's Red Dead Redemption rules. Just shoot the fucking horse. Like they're not gonna catch you. Sorry, no horses were harmed in the making of this podcast.
Well,
All the horses were harmed.
Say, hopefully all of them, but woo. Okay. So that's a 25 to hit. I have point blank shot and rolled an 18 on the dice.
Dang, that is absolutely a hit. You hurl your axe, it tumbles end over end toward this creature and finds purchase. How much damage?
5.
Excellent.
On the upper side of the damage, too.
Yeah, your axe bites into this thing's ribs. You snap a couple of its spines as it finds purchase in this thing's gaunt ribs, and this thing just howls in pain. It lunges backwards, almost like, again, Varix was trying to get it out of the way, and again, he's unable to guide this thing away from your blows. Varix, his eyes just keep getting just almost imperceptibly wider as he gazes upon you all. That is Ruger's turn. We're back up to the Howlers. So, there are 2 left. One of them is being just super fucked up by all these animals. It's gonna try to kill this crocodile. It lashes out with its powerful jaws and tries to shake and stab with its spines as well. Does a 13 hit this crocodile's armor class?
No.
Fantastic. It misses with that. Does a 15 hit its armor class?
Exactsies.
Okay, so this creature, this howler, does not hit with its bite, but 2 of its quills do pierce your crocodile's flesh. And the first one's going to do 7 points of damage, and the second one's going to do... Yeah. So, this howler lunges at the crocodile, and unfortunately it dies. Now, this is a summoned creature. Does it just disappear in a puff of magic?
Yeah,
Fantastic.
goes back to whatever plane of existence it came from dead.
Yeah, so it hisses and puffs away, leaving some of these quills on the ground.
It dies. It's dead.
Okay,
It's going back home dead.
as long
Does
as we
it?
all know that it's dead and was killed, and then it goes away, the second howler is going to rush off to the side, sort of strafing your guys' position, and with Varix astride it, it's going to take a running leap and just clear the outer ring of wagons. So the second howler with Varix astride it has now jumped over the ring of armored wagons, scrabbled over the top of one of them, and is now inside the ring. It takes a few steps towards the back of the Wagon of Wonders. They're about 10 feet away from the door, with Varix astride it. And that is the bad guy's turn. So we've got one howler on the outside, still barely clinging to life, and one on the inside with Varix. That brings us to Snake's turn.
Snakes tries to avenge his fallen comrade. 19 to hit.
19's gonna do it, bud.
All right, DC 11 Fortitude save.
I'm rolling it. Okay, it does not make that fortitude save. What happens?
Oh, I know it's Constitution damage.
Roll it up.
6.
Oh my goodness.
That is a virulent poison.
Wow. Okay. So that's gonna kill it. Jesus Christ. So Snake, in avenging its fallen companion, lashes out with its massive fangs and pumps its horribly toxic venom into this howler. The initial bite doesn't do that much damage, and the howler kind of shakes off Snake, and then it stumbles on its four legs, and it lets out a small soft whine, and then it starts foaming at the mouth and just falls over dead. That is 2 howlers down.
Yeah, and then Snake just starts eating it.
Yeah, immediately, without hesitation. Before it stops moving, it goes head first, so the quills will lay back, and it can hopefully get the whole thing in there. That's gonna be rough coming out, though. Hektor, the gatekeeper, keeper of the gates. It looks like that while your gate was kept, there was another gate that wasn't. The 2 howlers in front of you are dead. There is one that is inside the circle of wagons with Varix astride it. What do you do?
How far away?
He's about
is
50 feet away from you.
50?
Yeah.
Alright. I am going to leap over the wagon phalanx. Gonna go ahead and roll.
Yeah, roll me a jump check.
Barbarians doing the Incredible Hulk thing, just like...
That's a 27.
Gosh darn it, Hektor. Yeah, you vault mightily right over one of the, they are halfling-sized wagons, but still very impressive as you vault bodily over one of these wagons with the barely a head start. And yeah, you Air Jordan right over that, and you are now inside the ring of wagons. This guy's now 30 feet away from you.
Okay. I'm going to close in an additional 10 feet and pull out one of my throwing axes. It's just outside of my movement range. And I'm going to attack. I'm not going to just full round move because
Fantastic.
I'm raging and I can't stop raging.
There you go.
And I'm going to throw an axe of throwing.
Are you throwing it at Varix or his mount?
Let's kill this fucking mount. 25 to hit.
25 is absolutely a hit, sir. Go ahead and roll damage.
Whew. Minimum damage 7.
All right. You hurl your axe. It tumbles end over end, and you clip this howler's back leg. It goes skittering out, and the thing stumbles for a moment, but regains its footing. It is definitely hurt, but still standing, and you are now inside the ring of wagons with this howler and Varix. Zurabak, it is your turn. Out of the window of the Wagon of Wonders, you see a guy in black leather with a wrap over his nose and mouth. There is a handprint on his chest with a purple spiral in the palm of it. And he is riding astride one of the strangest animals you've ever seen. It's like a weird hairless cat from hell with porcupine quills all over it. He seems intent on getting inside the wagon. As you see him outside the window, a throwing axe just comes into frame into the back of his hound, and Hektor's yelling out there, you know, that whole thing. What do you do?
Oh, clearly, Zurabak looks down over at Sebastian, and then he looks over at the tea kettle, and he starts making tea for the visitor.
So Zurabak starts brewing some delicious Earl Grey. Fantastic. That is Rilla's turn. Rilla, you are on top of the Wagon of Wonders. There's a dude like 10 feet from you on top of a howler, which is also like 10 feet from you, and they're circling their way to the back door of the wagon. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna shoot his mount again with another shocking arrow. That's what I'm gonna do.
Roll it up.
So that's a 20 to hit.
That is absolutely a hit. Your arrow strikes true, showering sparks behind it as it slashes through the air.
Nowhere near as good, but I do 8 points of damage, only one of which is shocking damage.
Fantastic. That is enough to absolutely kill this creature. Your arrow strikes true. You hit this thing right in one of its weird rectangular pupils. The lightning bolt arrowhead striking true, and smoke starts to come out of this thing's eyes and ears as it is electrocuted, and it falls dead underneath Varix, who very nimbly rolls off this thing's back and lands gracefully on their feet, standing right next to the door of the wagon. Nicely done. Ruger Firehide, it is your turn. You just saw this last howler get aced by Rilla, and this guy Varix seems to be just right next to the door of the Wagon of Wonders. What would you like to do?
And how far away is that from me?
Let's see, you got inside, we'll say it's like 50 feet, but as far as it was from Hektor.
I drop my battle axe and hand axe into the loops at my hips and pull out my heavy crossbow that I wear on a strap around my body.
Yeah, you
and
do.
I loose a bolt at the Hand of the Void.
Fantastic. You level a shot with your heavy crossbow. There's a loud metallic twang as a bolt rips through, and what'd you get on your attack roll?
16.
All right, that's a very good hit. Your bolt flies through the air directly on target. Just as it's about to hit Varix, in a blur of movement, the bolt disappears for an instant and is now flying directly back at you. It seems as though Varix caught this bolt and is hurling it at you. Does a 17 hit your armor class?
Exactsies.
Hey, what's the damage for a heavy crossbow, bud?
1d8.
Okie dokie. Well, that's lucky. You take 1 point of damage. Lucky. So yeah, with preternatural swiftness. The bolt you fired reaches Varex's hand, reaches up like a blur, and before you know it, he's caught this thing, spun on a heel, and lobbed it back at you all in one fluid motion. You are scored on your side by this crossbow bolt. It seemed like he almost lazily threw it at you, so it's barely a scratch. And yeah, that was your turn. Seems this guy's not fucking around. It is Varex's turn, and he is going to calmly step up to the door of the Wagon of Wonders and open it. And Zurabak, what happens then?
He gets a reflex save for half.
Fantastic. He's going to roll that reflex save. Oh, he got very bad, which is cool.
He takes 8 points of fire damage.
All right, so Varex reaches out to the handle, opens this door, and as it does, with a bright flash of red, a trap is triggered, and a blast of flame just scorches his face. He just sort of stands there, stock still, as he takes this blow, and he doesn't seem to react to it. But Zurabak, from your angle, you can see that as this fire burns, it blasts the cloth over his mouth and nose away. It immediately is incinerated and falls off of his face, revealing a mouth that is sewn shut with thick black thread. And he looks at you with wide eyes out of a wizened face with angular features. Seems to be a human, but he stares at you with wide eyes and says, "Now, this will be interesting." And that's where we will end. Hello and welcome to As the Dice Turns, the podcast after the podcast, where we take a deep dive into our player characters' psychology, their motivations, frustrations, and try to get a deeper understanding of them as people. In this part of the show, we like to ask each of our player characters a question and try to glean some greater knowledge about how their minds work. Today, the question is quite a doozy. It'd be interesting to see what sort of feedback we get from our player characters on this one. The question for today is, do you believe in second chances? People come and go in our lives. Sometimes they make decisions that we don't always agree with. Sometimes they straight up hurt us. But are they worthy of forgiveness? Are they worthy of another try? The question for today is, do you believe in second chances? So we will begin with Rilla Longshadow. So happy that you could stop by the studio today. I know you're very busy out there. Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, not a problem. And I'm sure you always love it when I come, since I clean a small portion of your home.
Yeah, the dank and now surprisingly foggy swamp. Really, it just gets brighter whenever you arrive, and I cannot thank you enough for that. So yeah, if you want to just do a quick little clean there, grab yourself a seat.
Yep.
Fantastic, thank you. So, now that you're situated, Rilla, the question is, do you believe in second chances?
Yeah, sure, why not?
Okay, that's a pretty casual answer. And suppose we can't say good or bad necessarily. What brings you to that statement, that belief?
I mean, I'm really young. I don't know. Like, I haven't had that much bad happen to me. Why wouldn't I give people second chances? I mess up.
That's a very good point. So you're empathetic to people that have made mistakes in the past because you've made mistakes in your past. After all, you're only elven. And so you view the foibles of others as forgivable as your own foibles are. Is that my understanding?
Well, if someone comes to you asking for a second chance, then sure. Now, if they don't, then maybe they could go fuck themselves. But, you know.
An interesting and noteworthy caveat. So if someone makes an honest request to seek redemption, if someone makes a heartfelt and honest plea to be forgiven, that is worthwhile, but only if they're coming from a place of honesty and integrity.
If they ask, if they want it, yeah. I don't know if it has to be that deep, but you know, if they don't ask, then fuck them. Is all.
Understood. Well, the only reason I press you is that there are certainly some who think that once you've been wronged, that's it. And, those that wrong them are not worthy of...
That seems like a really good way to have, I don't know, 500 to 600 enemies by the time you reach the age of 500. Doesn't seem like a great plan.
I'm sure there are many who agree with you. So there's some pragmatism in there as well, not just empathy. Well, that's a very good answer. We certainly appreciate your candor, as always. And please watch your step on the way out. I don't know what's making those ripples in the pond there, but it's large, and I think it can see me. So just be careful there.
Man, it's just gonna get worse the longer this happens. I hope at some point I can fly out of here, so I can just hover. You know, it's very gross in here.
We'll see how your sorceress magics develop as your adventures continue. But until then, please watch your step.
Yep.
Let's see. Who do we have next? Zurabak, King of the Shocker Lizards, Champion of the Goats. Thank you for gracing this fetid bog that you've turned my studio into. How are you today?
Did you find him yet?
I know it's looking at me, and that's the worst part, is that I haven't found it, but I can feel its eyes on me. Zurabak, what is it?
Oh,
what?
He just wants to be your friend.
No, I don't. Zurabak, no, that's not good. I have enough friends. Okay, Sharon's my friend. Sharon, I have enough friends, right? Look in the Rolodex. Sorry, it's empty? Are you sure? Okay, maybe I could use a friend. Is it cuddly?
Oh, he's very cuddly. Cuddle all night.
Well, Zurabak, let's try to stay on topic. I'm sure I'll get to the cuddling later. The question before you today is, do you believe in second chances? I'm sure our listeners are sitting rapt at as you wax poetic about this very complex and nuanced topic. Does Zurabak believe in second chances?
What's there to believe? Sure. I get second chances to eat things all the time.
Right. That makes sense. Let me rephrase that. Say there's a goat that you are the champion of, right? And that goat kicks you hard in the stomach. But afterwards, that goat expresses regret and would like a second chance to be a loyal vassal. Do you forgive the infraction of kicking you?
He doesn't get to that regret unless he survives my kick.
Understood. Okay. So you're working off of sort of an eye for an eye scenario, where if you are harmed, the other party deserves equal harm.
Yeah, that goat's getting kicked.
Gotcha. Okay. So
the regret may become from that kick, because I kick pretty hard.
I'm sure you do. I'd hate to see what that would even look like. I shudder to think. You have very, very big thighs. It's very, very large. Okay, well, that answers that question. Zurabak does believe in second chances when it comes to dining, but not when it comes to infractions or those that cause them harm. Sort of an Old Testament kind of perspective on that. Okay. Well, Zurabak, thank you very much, and I'm sure I'll find whatever's in here when it deems that I'm ready.
Oh,
So,
you'll know he's watching. And then Zurabak
Yeah.
just sort of sinks into the swamp.
oh my god. Oh, gosh. Oh god. Sharon, get the net. Sharon! It ate through the net? Yeah, of course it did. All right. Well, that's great. Ruger, thank God. Ruger Firehide. Ruger, thanks for stopping by the studio.
Howdy, partner. How are you?
Well, I've been better. It's unfortunate that we had to start doing this, Ruger, in these tragic times because my studio used to be clean and it smelled of fresh, like
No, what?
just
Fresh what? Do elaborate.
fresh carpet, fresh,
You mean
fresh dials and knobs and chairs. Now it's all just a swamp. I'm sorry I have to see me like this.
was that Zurabak I saw melting into your swamp?
Sinking into the water like some sort of horrific demon hippo. Yes,
Yep.
he just lives here now.
That's that sir is pretty terrifying.
It's worse at night, but it's also worse during the day. I'm really tired. Anyway, that's beside the point. The question today, Ruger, again, we got a real softball for you. I'm sure you'll knock this right out of the park. Just real straight up and down. Do you believe in second chances?
Well, before I begin, I should say that I came prepared this time. I stopped by the front and met a lovely lady named Sharon. She made me some delicious sweet tea, really calmed the nerves before I sat in this swamp chair. And to your question, sir, that's a question that'll keep a lawman up at night. I mean, I have chased many an evil man, but I have also watched a man swing from the gallows and wonder if he deserved to be there. So, it's a question that a lawman has to confront every day. Does this person before you deserve the opportunity to make amends for the crimes that they have done? And to what measure are these crimes? I mean, larceny, highway robbery, sure. Theft, and desperate times will lead folks to do desperate things. But murder? Sir, torture? I can't say I can abide it more than once. Can you?
Well, I mean, I'm not usually in the position of answering questions myself. I'm a little taken aback by that. It's like, there's a lot of things to consider. Empathy, mercy, and there's problems with the justice system. I'm sweating. Is it hotter in here?
It is mighty humid.
Oh God. How do you even
swamp.
answer this question? I'm spiraling. Hold on. Sharing, I need a towel. Look.
Well, I would recommend, sir, a little bit of her sweet tea. If I had to guess...
Sharon the tea? Sharon.
If I had to guess,
Get the tea.
It's probably spiked.
Yeah, she's a real lush. But I appreciate it. Oh, I feel better. Please don't ask me these questions again. These are hero rank questions. These are for protagonists, okay? I'm just the host. I'm not spec'd to answer these, okay? But that's a very nuanced answer with a lot of depth, and we certainly appreciate your candor. I know that as a former lawman, you have a unique perspective on this, and that's certainly a refreshing amount of self-reflection. It's definitely something to think about.
Well, all right then. I'll leave you with that. I think I saw Hektor coming on in.
Yeah. Hopefully he doesn't ask me anything. I'm gonna finish this iced tea real quick. Bye, Mr. Firehide.
Adios.
Oh God, Hektor, the gatekeeper. How you doing?
That's me. I'm Hektor. Hi.
Yeah. Hi. I'm sorry. I've had a lot of tea, so
Yes.
I'm very calm, and that's important. Is how calm I am.
Yes. Can I just say, oh, this is getting hard. Shoelaces, tied. Well done. Yes.
Yeah, I tied them half myself. Then Sharon only had to do the other half part. So, thank you for noticing.
So what's half of a tied shoelace?
We don't really gotta get into the nuances of the bunny ears strategy. We're burning up tape here. The reel-to-reel's just going crazy. So, Hektor, listen. Do you believe in second... do you believe in second chances, is the question.
Do I believe in second chances? Do I believe that in the heart of every man, no matter how heinous his deed, there lies the chance at redemption? Of course. Granted, there are some deeds so heinous that redemption may not be possible in an actual lifetime. But yes, I believe most people can be redeemed, and when possible, should be given that chance.
Well, that's a lovely sentiment. It's so... Sharon, isn't that sweet? Sharon, isn't that sweet? That's so sweet. Yeah, because, Zurabak was like... And I don't want to tell tales out of school, but Zurabak was like, I'll kick the goat. And then, Rilla was like, yeah, I guess, she doesn't... She's... she's all like, whatever. And then Ruger asked me the question, and I don't even know what the, what?
I mean, so I'm not entirely sure why Ruger gets to sit in on these questions myself. So, yeah, it makes sense that he would just ask it right back. He doesn't know how this goes.
Yeah, I thought he passed you on the way out. Did they not?
Oh no, I'm aware that he's been added to this for some reason.
Ooh, sounds like we got some behind the scenes drama.
Okay, Sharon, he needs to lie down.
No, I'm fine. Sharon, I don't take my tea. I always drink. All right, you know what? Hektor's been great, but you need to go because I gotta cuddle Zurabak or some. I don't know. Just have a good one. Thank you for listening to As the Dice Turns, the podcast before the after show podcasts where we stuff or whatever, and the dice are turning. So.
Alright, buddy, that was a good outro. Let's get you to bed.
I don't want to go to bed! Hey there, dear listeners. Sam, the DM here, checking in with the credits at the end of the show. Thank you so much for listening to Challenge Rating 0. If you would like to follow us on social media, we are everywhere. You can find us on Facebook at Challenge Rating 0. You can find us on Instagram at Challenge Rating 0. We are on Twitter at Challenge_ZERO. If you want to follow us individually, you can find Beth on Twitter at Dragon and Distress. Brian is at Dalabrak. I am at Horace Kemp 3, and Alex is at Alex Klenke, Klenke. If you would like to email us to let us know what you think of the show or submit questions for As the Dice Turns yourself, you can email us at challengeratingzer, the letter O. If we like your questions, we will read them on air and subject our protagonists to your queries. Music for our lovely program, including our theme song, is provided by the dreaded harp wolf, Danielle Williams. You can find her work on Bandcamp at danielletaylorharp.bandcamp.com. She has a lovely album out called Why Are We Surprised When Seasons Change? You should check it out. It is incredible. Additional music for the show is provided by Justin Ra. You can find his work at justinra.bandcamp.com. He also has an album out called Age of the Spirit. I highly recommend you check that one out as well. We are having a whole lot of fun making this show, and seeing how many people are actually downloading it is an endless source of joy for us. If anyone out there would like to support the show, good news, there's a million ways to do it, and it's incredibly easy. If you'd like to tell a friend about us, share a link maybe, go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review. That would all go a long way to helping us out over here. We did recently launch a Patreon, patreon.com/CR_0. If anyone would like to support us more directly. We don't have much on there now, but here in the next few months, we are going to expand our repertoire of bonus goodies for those of you that would like to give us a hand here in crafting this fantasy epic. No matter what, we thank you deeply for keeping up with us, for tuning in, and giving us a slice of your day. It means the world to us, and we will continue to make the best show we possibly can, no matter what. So, stay safe out there, be good to each other, and until next time, bye-bye.